Alright, I know what you're thinking. Woody Woodpecker Racing on the Game Boy Color? Ugh, come on, can't you pick something better than that to review? But Max Impact 24, aka Will, I'm telling you right now, this game really took me by surprise. It's one of the best kart racers on the Game Boy Color.
Mike, oh my god. You know it's like 4 a.m., right? You can see I'm still in my pajamas.
Oh, well, look at the time. Wow, I'm sorry I called so late. I got really wrapped up in playing this Woody Woodpecker racing game on the Game Boy Color. It must have been like 32 straight hours. I didn't even realize what time it was.
32 hours? Jeez, Mike, go get some rest, man.
Now that you mention it, I am kind of tired. Why don't we pick up right after the intro music plays?
Oh yeah, it's like 8 hours long, so you'll get a good night's rest, eh?
Alright, so, where were we?
Yeah, I got it. Okay. I'll check the game out.
You will?
Yeah, I do love me some Game Boy.
Alright, let's hop to it. Here's Woody Woodpecker Racing on the Game Boy Color.
Woody Woodpecker Racing was released for the Game Boy Color in December of 2000.
Huh. Wow.
What?
Well, the 20th anniversary was just this past December, actually.
Weird. It's almost like I planned this.
Developed and published by Konami, this licensed kart racer features the cast of the Walter Lantz classic cartoon and is based on the new Woody Woodpecker cartoon that ran from 1999 to 2002, with the lead character being voiced by none other than Ren and Stimpy and Futurama voice actor Billy West. I've watched a bit of the show, and if you have NBC's Peacock streaming service currently, you can watch it on there.
I'll take that payment in the form of Amazon gift cards. Thank you very much, NBC. And Amazon, I'll take those gift cards in the form of Taco Bell. Thank you very much. And Taco Bell, I'll...
I'm beginning to regret my decision to agree to help you with this review.
As you should.
This game may be more familiar to you for different reasons, because it was also released on the Sony PlayStation, Sega Dreamcast, and the PC. However, the development team on those versions was Cyrox Developments, unlike the Game Boy Color, which was all done in-house at Konami. While the reviews for the console and PC versions were somewhat mixed to poor, the Game Boy Color version got glowing praise back in the day, and for good reason. What we have here is a kart racer that offers several different modes, tons of variety, a fun leveling up system, unlockable characters and tracks, and more. It's easy to see why Woody Woodpecker Racing got such high marks. But cool features and modes are only part of the package, and I admit it, this game isn't perfect. So does this racing game actually require a tune-up, or is it shifted into high gear? Starting off in Woody Woodpecker Racing, you'll be given a few options after the title screen. You've got a 1-player or 2-player option. Sadly, Will and I didn't have the option of playing multiplayer.
Alright, so I heard there's a trick to being able to get multiplayer functionality on a Game Boy when you live far away from somebody. First, you need a dog. Then, you need that dog to sit next to you. Then you're going to need a Letterman's jacket. And then all of a sudden, a creepy 3D green guy will come out of your Game Boy screen and pull you into his world, and you can play games as much as you want together.
Dude, that's just the intro to the Captain and the Game Master show.
You are the Game Master.
Don't you mean Game Master?
Mike, are you okay, man?
What? Oh, yeah, sorry. I got a weird case of deja vu all of a sudden. I don't know.
Going into the options, you can check on your ranking in the game for each track. check out ghost data for your time trials, and even receive ghost data from other people, most likely with the infrared feature or link cable between systems. The last section in options is player data, which tells you how much you've done in your save file. Between 9 grades, 4 unlockable drivers, parts to make your vehicle better, sprint points, and cups you've secured, the game will definitely keep you busy for a long time. Replayability on kart racers is a huge feature, and as I mentioned previously, you're in it for the long haul if you want to be a completionist. While I will admit I didn't go for 100% on everything, I can still give you an idea if this one is worth your time. Getting out of the options and into the single player section, there are 4 different modes to choose from: Extreme, Grand Prix, Sprint, and Time Attack. Going with the last one first, Time Attack allows you to race against a ghost if desired, trying to get your best times. This is a good way of practicing levels to be able to perfect them, although items are turned off. There's a Ghost Racer option as well, so if you want to try to beat your own scores, you can save a race in Time Attack, then race against that ghost. Sprint is... I don't know, single races in Grand Prix style. You race against other computer-controlled players, and you can use items. And there seems to be some sort of point system that counts at the end of each race, but I can't figure out what the point of this is. It is a good way of practicing levels to be able to perfect them, despite the items being turned off. The 2 modes I spent the most time on are Extreme and Grand Prix. Extreme starts off with a large assortment of characters to race against, similar to Grand Prix, but the difference is that the racers that come in the last 2 spots are eliminated until it's just your racer and the other person that survived, where you face off one-on-one. There's an easy way to cheese a win though, by quitting before the race is over and selecting Try Again. This will let your character redo the current race so you don't have to face off against all the other players. This can be done in Grand Prix as well, and while you'd think that would make the game easy to run through, it doesn't, but more on that in a bit. Controls can take some getting used to, but once you spend a half an hour or so with the game, you'll begin to understand how the mechanics work. Using the directional pad to move, up and down aren't really used during gameplay, so the focus is on steering. By pressing left or right, the angle of the direction is shifted depending on the direction you choose, which makes controlling the karts a bit sluggish. When you see the road start to curve, if you press left or right multiple times, you'll start to slide, whereas 1 or 2 light button presses with enough space in between will allow you to simply shift to adapt to the changing roads. This gives the game a stiff feel to the controls, but for some odd reason it works really well, and I think that has a lot to do with how intentionally slow the game runs.
It is true, this is a slower racer, but with all the speed boosts in each track, this really isn't a problem. Added to the fact that you can bump up your engine power and you won't be driving Miss Daisy here. My playthrough was done with Smedley, who is a slower driver, but with a little memorization and optimal customizing, you'll be moving around at a good pace.
Alright, so the game is an F-Zero, but this is also the Game Boy Color we're talking about, right? By this point in time, the Game Boy had worked out a lot of the blurring effects that plagued early Game Boy games, but there's been faster kart racers on the Game Boy Color. But did they play as well as Woodpecker Racing? Personally, I'd say no. The slower speeds won't be friendly to speed demons who want their kart racers fast and furious, but it's still totally entertaining. Level designs are mostly well done, with tons of variety and trap mechanics that will challenge even the most seasoned of kart racing fanatics. There's plenty of ramp jumps, speed boosts, and trickier traps like lava pits, conveyor belts, and rolling platforms that really get the anxiety cruising. There's 1 or 2 that I felt made things really clunky, such as the Western Zone's pyramid level, where these rolling platforms caused me to hit a dead stop almost every single time. And there's no real braking option here either. Basically stop pressing the buttons and your kart will slow down, and that's the best you can get. I don't even feel like I needed a brake though, to be fair, so it kind of balances out.
One of the most unique aspects of the game are the tracks. Yes, you have your own standard oval and city courses, but there's also races in Halloween Town adorned with pumpkins and fall colors. The dirt stadium is filled with sick jumps and mud pits. You'll be zipping alongside train tracks in Ghost Town, and how about a race on a golf course? Very creative and just plain fun.
Much like Mario Kart and several other kart racers, you can boost at the starting line with a well-placed press of the A button for gas. But I found that this very rarely did much for your final results. There's very little rubber banding in this game for both you and your opponents, which puts things at an even playing field. Items are generally not completely overpowered. By running over an item box, Woody and his friends can press the B button to stop the roulette. Pressing the button again will use whatever items you've collected, from speed boost to a jump to avoid enemy items, rockets, barbell weights, a homing rocket which acts like a blue shell in Mario Kart, an invincibility potion, and more. The variety here is plentiful, but not every item has a positive outcome. The oil slick tends to be pretty worthless unless you're turning a corner, and the homing missile doesn't knock out your opponents long enough, leading to a quick recovery. The music box item feels kinda worthless. I don't even know what it does because every time I've gotten it, I've been too far away from anyone to see the results.
Woody Woodpecker Racing offers 10 characters to choose from, with a large majority being from the Woodpecker family. There's the star of the show Woody, his girlfriend / love interest Winnie, Woody's nephew and niece Knothead and Splinter, the latter which is an exclusive to this version. Continue with the list, we have Wally Walrus, Buzz Buzzard, Smedley, Ms. Meanie, and Dapper Denver Dooley.
Don't forget the best character of all, Chilly Willy.
Are you just saying that because every time you get cold you always say, "It's Chilly Willy in here?" Like the penguin?
How did you know? I mean, no.
Yeah, Chilly Willy is in this game, and he was the one that I felt had the best controls aside from Woody and Winnie. Miss Meanie and Smedley are probably the toughest to use. There's a window on the screen at the bottom which shows off your character's mug from time to time, and the reactions to what's happening to them. If they pass someone after a successful item attack, they'll smile or have a sinister look on their face. But if they're attacked or lose their position, the image can change from lighthearted to downright frightening.
Look at Chilly Willy's face when he gets hit with an item. That's some nightmare fuel right there. Ooh.
That's the last thing you see before you die. I'm 100% convinced.
You unlock characters by finishing cups in Grand Prix, and when you do, each character has a different phrase they like to say. I think Miss Meanie meant something else here. I wasn't able to unlock Dapper Denver Dooley or Buzz Buzzard at the time of this review being written, but I wasn't lying when I said that the game is challenging. And the hidden content is definitely a time sink, but the thing is, I always wanted to keep playing and improving my Grand Prix Cup finishes. I would move from third to second to first, and it really kept me going, and when you finally win a match and you get the gold cup, the gaming high you get is pretty incredible.
The difficulty with some of the later tracks will have you white-knuckling your Game Boy in a death grip. South Pole is one that I absolutely hate, as the ice will have you skidding all over the place. And the junkyard, with its conveyor belts leading to water hazards, is a real bastard. But, like Mike, I always wanted to do better and try that race again until I got it right.
Let's talk about the ranking system. It's a bit confusing at first. See, we have 4 separate types of locations with 3 races per location. There's 3 difficulties to choose from, and each course's difficulty offers different tracks for up to 9 per location, which ends up being about a total of 36 tracks. That's a ton of levels for a little kart racer on the Game Boy Color. If you finish a location's cup, you'll increase your rank points, which can be used to improve stability and speed in 3 potential areas: wheels, acceleration, and engine. However, on easy mode, this is locked to a certain maximum, so you're not just ranking up all the easy cups and blowing away the competition too soon. It's kind of balanced in that sense, but the difficulties seemed inaccurate at times. I had several races in the Western Cup that I had immense difficulty with, but changing to normal, I was able to finish it, so I suggest starting on easy and just seeing what works best for you. The Game Boy Color was host to a vast array of color choices that could be used throughout the game, and while a lot of levels have a very muddy palette to them, the entire game runs everything mostly smooth. The characters are all in their generic karts despite any modifications made, with their heads being the best way to identify them. Despite the lack of detail, the simplicity of it works really well, and you always know who is racing. Well, aside from the Woodpeckers, they all kind of have that same looking face. Though aside from revamping the entire style of the game, I'm not sure what they could have done here to change that. Everything looks the way it should, and while the detail is minimal, it's still really fun to play and look at.
The graphics are simple, but they do the trick for me. The look of each racer during the select screen is nice, and their big noggins as they race is fun. The tracks look clean with a little detail here and there. I'm looking at you, Pumpkin, hanging on a line.
The soundtrack on this game really surprised me, not because it was on the Game Boy Color, there's plenty of bangers available, but Woody Woodpecker Racing's Game Boy Color soundtrack is a phenomenal mix of that NES-style sound with the Game Boy buzz we all know and love. Some tracks have an almost sad sound to them, while others are lighthearted and whimsical. There's tons of music to love here, but the beach and dirt bike arena tracks were definitely my favorites of the many I enjoyed.
The music took me by surprise too. Catchy and simple tunes that had me humming a few times after my initial playthrough. Check out Dirt Stadium. This theme has great energy and a sense of urgency to it. It's my clear-cut favorite.
It always surprises me how impressive the Game Boy Color's library really is. There's so many games that I find that just don't hit that stellar grade of checkmarking boxes to certify it as a traditional classic must-own game. But Woody Woodpecker Racing on the Game Boy Color comes close to this category, for me at least. Sure, it's a bit slow as compared with other kart racers, the AI can sometimes be a bit wonky, and the graphics are just okay, but the fun factor is where it needs to be in a game like this. Thanks to a stellar soundtrack and well thought out controls and fun level design, this game belongs in any kart racing fan's collection.
I must say, Woody Woodpecker Racing took me, again, by surprise. The game is a bit slower for a racer, but that doesn't detract from its fun factor. You get numerous odd and unique tracks, multiple difficulties, plenty of racers to pick from, kart customization, hidden unlockables, and great music to boot. For those gamers that are casual racing fans, I think this is a great game to play. And for hardcore kart racers, you definitely need to play this.
Thanks for taking this wild ride with me, Will.
No problem, Mike. Hey there, looks like you made a little friend.
Oh hey, you're right! Woody Woodpecker! How's it going? Hey, thanks for stopping by my review. What do you think? Is this the best review of Woody Woodpecker Racing on the Game Boy Color that you've seen online? I'm not sure how to take that. I guess not!
Thanks to all patrons, but especially the Morningstar Whip tier and higher. They are Trevin Adams, The Autistic Gamer 89, Derek Demitter, Chris Burke, Nintendo, Bryce, and Scott McElhone. Your continued patronage is much appreciated. Anyone that's interested in signing up for the Patreon, there's tons of cool features and rewards. Check it out down below. It's totally optional, but it really does help the channel, and it directly goes back into funding reviews such as this one.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and want to watch more reviews, click on the videos below, or explore the channel after subscribing. I'll see you next time on Dude You Haven't Played This Game.